right, welcome to Whyspace.
Hey, y'all.
Happy day after the first NFL game of 2024.
Isn't life good? It's good.
Got a little surprise for you. Hold on. Make sure
Oh,
turn the right way. This may be transposed because it's yep, that is. Okay.
yeah.
I've got my so this is a thing in Kansas City. I didn't know, but apparently the day, so typically it's Red Friday.
Okay.
Normally their first game is on Sunday, but we had Red Wednesday in Kansas City because the game was on Thursday. And so they sold these flags everywhere. And I didn't know this was a thing, but I went to the Hy-Vee grocery store Wednesday morning at about 6:30 because I didn't have any groceries to feed my child for his lunch. And there was a line through the parking lot, and I was like, what is happening? They were handing out burritos and donuts and coffee, and you paid $5 for a flag. And it goes to, I think, the Ronald McDonald Foundation. But funny story, I saw the line, figured out what was going on, figured out this was a thing. And I was like, well, I don't have time. I've got to get my food, get home. But I happened to have on my 1989 sweatshirt from Taylor. And so I walked by the line, this guy in his probably 60s with his sweet little wife says to me, ma'am, is that a Taylor Swift sweatshirt? And I said, yes, sir, it is. I didn't even know what I had on. I looked down, I was like, oh, yes, sir, it is. It just says 1989, real big and baby blue. He handed me a flag, gave me my own flag.
Listen, we love Kansas City people.
I was like, well, this is the greatest day ever. I mean,
I love that.
Yeah. I know. So crazy. So they have these flags.
In an NFL town.
It's a crazy thing. So like 2 nights ago, I noticed we had to drive through downtown to get back from football. And I noticed a lot of the buildings were starting to be red. And I have noticed throughout the summer, sometimes they'll light up teal for the KC Current. And then sometimes they'll be like royal blue for the Royals. So I've noticed they kind of do that. Now, let me tell you. Last night, though, I mean, the town was aglow. Like, it literally looked like the entire town was painted red.
Wow.
Just like, I don't even know. Like, do they purposely build their buildings so they can light them up here? I don't know.
I mean, I would assume so.
It was insanity, though. Like, and it was so fun yesterday. Like, we get up and I put on a red shirt. I put on my Loving Him is Red, of course, shirt.
Obviously.
Judd picks which jersey he's wearing. So I'm just assuming, like, oh, we'll probably see some people at drop off. I mean, from infants in like a Patrick onesie to like this little old lady walking her kid into the school. I saw nothing but red and jerseys everywhere I was yesterday.
Oh, that's, you're in heaven right there.
I said to myself, well, we have moved to the right place.
That's right.
But before we get too far into football, which we will be heavily into football today, we want to talk about the VMAs because they are next week.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were the 10th.
Yeah, when I was like, hey, what do you want to talk about this week? And you were like, we should probably talk about the VMAs. And I was like, oh, yeah, we usually preview that. That's next week. I wasn't ready. Have you been voting?
I have.
Okay.
And it's kind of what you were saying. I feel like we're voting on the same thing.
So I did some research. I did some research this morning because I went in to I have luckily this week somehow caught Power Hour where it doubles your votes several times. So I feel like I've really contributed this week.
Yes.
But as I was voting this morning, I was like, I swear we did this last year. So I went and looked it up and there's some tricky things. So one of the ones that I felt like we for sure did last year was SZA. I feel like she was all over it. Well, what I realized is that was for Kill Bill. Everything this year is Snoop.
Oh, I gotcha.
So I think
it's Taylor. We were voting Taylor, so it just seems like repeat.
Well, and I guess maybe part of the reason that I didn't realize what we were voting on last year with Taylor, everything was for Anti-Hero. So, yes. I totally tuned out probably. I mean, I voted for, but I didn't know what I was voting for.
You just saw the name.
Taylor is nominated for a record-breaking 10.
Isn't that wild?
VMAs, which is, I mean, of course. But I have to say, and we're going to run through these. Some of them we won't talk much about because, like, best art direction, we
I don't know
what we're talking about. But okay, so I guess all of her nominations that are not her specific are around Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I like Fortnite, and I think the video's great, but
right.
I don't know. And you know, I was in my feelings about the anti-hero video because that thing creeps me out. But I just am like, really? I mean,
I don't listen. We all enjoyed it because we're not going to say no to a Taylor Swift video, but it wasn't one that you're like, man, I'm going to keep rewatching that. That was so good.
Yeah, but I think this is the oversaturation thing. So, okay, we'll go through some of the categories. Again, like things like best direction, best cinematography, best editing, best visual effects, best art direction. We don't know what we're talking about.
We don't.
So I'm just assuming she's going to win those because I literally have not seen the videos of anything else.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to skip through that. But video of the year, though. So, I mean, again, we like the Fortnite video, but your other options are Ariana Grande, We Can't Be Friends, Billie Eilish, Lunch, which you know I'm totally out. Doja Cat, Paint the Town Red, Eminem's Houdini, and then SZA's Snooze, and then Taylor and Post Malone Fortnite. I mean, I'm going with Taylor on this, but I think it's the oversaturation thing that I'm like, well, what else would anybody be watching?
Well, I think it's that. I think her having Post Malone on it helps. I think the competition in that one would, if there is one, is going to be Eminem's Houdini.
See, I was going to say the competition is SZA.
And see, I didn't because I've literally not heard that song. So in my head, it's not even in the running.
Well, now I did mean to look. Let me do a quick paint. Okay, yes. So last year, Paint the Town Red, the Doja Cat song, was a nominee in a lot of categories last year. So that's where it gets confusing, but the video did not come out until after.
Oh, gotcha.
I feel like next year's VMAs are going to be wild, though, because there's so much that's come out.
Ton.
But I went with Taylor on that. Now, Artist of the Year, I went with Taylor. She's up against Ariana Grande, Bad Bunny, Eminem, Sabrina, SZA, and Taylor Swift.
Now, see, I also think Eminem could give her a run for her money on this one this year, and Sabrina, only because they're both having pretty big years. Eminem, because he's released something and it's been so long, I don't know if he would outdo Taylor or Sabrina, but Sabrina's having
that's who I think the competition is. So in my notes, I have Sabrina, Taylor, because I also have to think about the voting block. And that's why, like, I don't see Eminem because I feel like it's kind of our age range that gets into Eminem.
Maybe.
And I don't know that our age range votes on the VMAs as frequently as we
You don't think?
Probably not. But that's what makes me think Sabrina really could potentially take that one.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, do I want Taylor to win? Yes, but I mean, we love Sabrina too. So
right. And it's her first year being nominated for VMAs.
Yeah. Now, Song of the Year. This could go a lot of ways, in my opinion. So we got Beyonce's Texas Hold'em, Jack Harlow's Lovin' on Me, Kendrick's Not Like Us, Sabrina's Espresso, Taylor and Post, Fortnite, and Teddy Swims Lose Control. What did you say?
I'm going to say it's between Kendrick and Taylor.
Okay, so I said I've got three. I said it's either. That's what I'm saying. I've got maybe it's your voting block. Espresso is so popular.
Yeah.
Now, Not Like Us is incredibly popular, but that's a niche voting block.
Well, I think with Sabrina, I think the age group that's probably voting the most might lean towards her.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see her taking.
So I've got all three. I don't know between that. Okay, best collaboration. I didn't put this on here because this is not a Taylor topic, but best new artist. Gracie is nominated, but Chappell Roan is nominated, and I feel like everyone's obsessed with her. She freaks me the heck out.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But I mean, I'm voting like crazy for Gracie, but I just don't see it. But best collab, we've got Drake with Sexy Red and SZA, Rich Baby Daddy, Glorilla and Meg Thee Stallion with Wannabe, Jesse Murphy and Jelly Roll with Wild Ones, Jungkook and Lotto with Seven, Post Malone and Morgan Wallen with I Had Some Help, and then Taylor and Post with Fortnite. I think it's going to be Post Malone and Morgan Wallen.
Okay, so I have it between Post Malone and Morgan Wallen and Post and Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, I've got her as a maybe on everything.
Right.
But like that song is so popular, and Morgan brings in a whole nother voting block, and then it kind of splits. Yeah. But what I wonder, because Post is on both of them, does it then split their voting block?
That's possible.
But I don't know who
I think it's fun to see who wins these because it's not a clear shot this year.
Yeah. Now, best pop, you've got Camila Cabello, Dua Lipa, Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina, Tate McRae, and Taylor. I went Taylor on this one. I think this one is between her and Sabrina, but I still think Taylor wins this one.
Yeah, that's what I put too. I think Taylor will take it, but Sabrina's going to be her honest competition there.
I hope that they go together to the award show.
I am wondering if they'll like walk in together or sit together.
Okay, so I was just about to say, one of the favorite things that we love is what are we wearing? What colors are you predicting for Taylor's dress?
Listen, she throws me off because I think she'll go dark, and then the last time she went green, and I was like, what are we?
Yeah, and then there was it the Grammys when we had the white with the black gloves, and we were like,
yeah,
what's happening?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm feeling a shade of blue, but I'm not sold on it. I could be swayed to a different color.
I am going to go with that theme of the whole orange and purple thing that's going on.
Okay.
You know,
I can see that.
See, that's just what I don't know, but I can't wait to see. I hope it's not weird. And I need it to be normal. Like, let's be, I don't know, but she always goes a little edgier at this. So
she does. I'll be interested to see if she does hair down or what she does with that, because it looks like she's going to continue growing it out. So,
well, now speaking of the VMAs from last year, we got after party pictures where she was wearing the blue jean contraption, which, in switching subjects, is very similar to what she had on last night at the Chiefs game.
Yes.
Now, I looked it up. Very pricey, these barely there clothes.
Listen.
A lot of money for very little fabric.
She's very much in her corset era.
Very corset.
She looks fantastic in it.
Well, listen, if I could get that off, I'd be in that era too. But I was shocked that we went with blue jean shorts and not a mini skirt.
Yeah, she did tend to do skirts last year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, those red boots that she had on were stunning. Please tell me, though, that you saw everyone on the Twitter thinking that it was an Easter egg about Rep TV.
Of course I
did. And I just want you to know, right when I saw the boots, it did flash in my head, oh, that's like in the Look What You Made Me Do video. And I said to myself, they are just red boots for the Chiefs. Stop it.
Listen, but the recall that Swifties have to immediately see those boots and then correlate it to something, I'm astonished by it.
Always.
God.
Listen, I will say, though, had they been sparkly, I would have been all in on the theory, but they were not. They were a matte. And so I was like, that's not what we're doing here.
No, but she looked incredible.
Holy moly. Like right when the pictures first popped up on Twitter, we were either in the car or still at Judd's football practice. And I was like, holy crap. And Aaron was like, what? And I'm like, look how hot she looks. And he's like,
Stunning.
He said, "Has she gotten a little thicker?" He was very happy. And I was like, I don't think so. I think it's the course.
I think it was the lift.
I think, what do the kids call that? The snatch? I think that's what
maybe. Snatch.
The snatch.
I don't
know. So the Chiefs played the Ravens last night. We have kicked off the NFL season, and it was a hell of a game.
So good. I didn't get stressed during the game, which shocked me. I don't know how.
I didn't get stressed until the last 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Yes. It got a little intense.
But yeah, I had this feeling throughout the whole game, like, so let's just start. Gosh, I don't even really know where to begin. Tell me your initial thoughts. Let's start with the Ravens. Tell me your initial thoughts on the Ravens.
My initial thoughts on them were, it looked like they were still figuring some things out, but Lamar looked even more athletic than I remember him being last year.
Yeah.
But I felt like if he couldn't find Flowers, he was just going to run it. And he can run that ball. He's not afraid to bulldoze through those people.
Let me make sure the box score right. I think, what was it, 122 yards, I want to say? I'm going to get it wild.
Because there would be times I would be like paying attention, but also on my phone and be like, oh my gosh, who just ran that? And every time it was Lamar. I was like,
yep. Let's see. No, team stats. No, box score.
No, every time Lamar takes off running, Harbaugh is holding his breath. Please don't hurt yourself.
Yeah. So 16 carries for 122 yards. He was averaging 7.6 yards, and his longest was a 16-yard run, which honestly feels short compared to how it felt.
Yeah.
So Derrick Henry, your boy. Okay, but where was he at the end of the game? He was on the sideline.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out why they weren't playing him much. It felt like they weren't pulling him in much, and every time he came in, he got you where you needed, just about.
I wondered if he got dinged up. I didn't know. I was like, something is amiss here.
It took like 3 Chiefs defensive linemen just to get him down. I was like, that's your weapon.
And I mean, we'll talk about the end of the game in a minute. Okay, so that's your initial reactions. Mine were, yes, they kept commenting that Lamar has dropped weight and he looks skinnier. I don't guess I really noticed that. I just noticed he seemed to be back in like a more physical, because I think by the time we played them in the postseason last year, I do think he was pretty banged up. And he even said recently, like, if he had his legs, he felt like that game would have been a little different. But I just want to go ahead and point out that he had his legs last night and they still lost. So
yeah, I mean, it was so close at the end.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Again, he can't deliver. Like, I think he's incredibly talented. He's an incredible athlete. And he statistically is always one of the leaders in the NFL. But, like, he can't deliver. Like, it never happens for them.
I feel like one of his weaknesses is he can't always see, like, when they're rushing or something, or it's like we got to get this play. It's like he can't see all of his receivers. He's so focused on who it's supposed to go to, and you've got all these other guys open.
Yeah.
It's just he can't pivot to that. At least that's what it looks like as a viewer.
Yeah, I think that's part of what bit him last night. But here's what I'm going to tell you, though. That game, in my opinion, could have and should have been much uglier. The Chiefs should have had 3 more touchdowns.
Yeah.
Pacheco, Trav, and Rasheed, all 3 dropped passes that were sure touchdowns. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that I thought – we'll switch gears to talk about the Chiefs. I thought the Chiefs looked good. But it was so obvious that they are even better than they looked last night. That last night was a little bit sloppy. And when they get turned on, I don't know. I am pumped. Like, first of all, I read a statistic that last year, the Chiefs did not have any 20-plus yard touchdown catches by a receiver. which I didn't realize either. And last night, Xavier Worthy, the rookie, had those. Like,
it was wild.
I thought it was so hilarious. Did you see the NFL's tweet where they like tried to take a picture of him on that first touchdown run? And they were like, sorry, this is blurry. He's just really moving that quick.
It's like, this is the best we could get.
Yeah. I thought it was even crazier that even Tyreek Hill was like tweeting that dude was moving. I mean,
Tyreek, JJ Watt, they were all tweeting about him.
LeBron, yeah, like it was insane. I told you in training camp, like he looks real fast, like, but it looks even crazier out in a real game.
There was one, I think it might have been his first touchdown, where it just looks like he's about to run into a wall of the defense. And his little feet like hop up and move really fast. And it's like he just magically goes through them. I'm like, how do you do this?
It reminds me of like those old cartoons where their feet would start like going super fast and then they'd like spin off. That's like what it reminds me of. So but here's the crazy thing. He only had 2 catches yesterday for 47 yards, which is really all we needed. That was fine.
You did your job, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, he also rushed though for 21 yards. So, and again, you got to remember, we didn't have Hollywood yesterday.
Nope.
Like you throw him in the mix, and I'm just telling you that this offense is going to be unreal.
Yes, it's going to be fun to watch them. And I think you can't, from game 1, the first couple of weeks, you can't tell what a team's going to look like. We saw that last year with the Chiefs. But I do think we can see there's so much more potential this year and what their options are. You've got your run game, but now you've got your receivers too. So to have both options on any play is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, so Patrick he was 20 for 28 for 291 yards. He did throw that really stupid interception, which when it happened, I was like, what are we doing? Yeah. But then he also kind of had a Lamar moment when he had the little jump ball thing that he had to go catch. But he got sacked twice for 10-yard loss. Let's see what else noteworthy happened. Pacheco got a touchdown, 15 carries, only 45 yards. It was obvious, I will say, about the I had read coming in that the Ravens were really worried about their offensive line. And I'm going to go ahead and say that's a very accurate worry and concern they should have. Because had that not been Lamar Jackson, I'm going to tell you, Chris Jones would have probably had about 7 sacks.
Yep.
So that doesn't bode well for a guy that gets hurt a lot, Lamar. Just saying.
Right. He can't run that much every single game.
And not get hurt. No. Let's see. Juju dropped that one in the end zone. But I was glad to have him back still. And I was real glad to not have Kadarius Toney. Sky Moore didn't get a target yesterday because, again, I'm still not sure why we have.
Why would we?
Anyway. Trav got 3 catches for 34 yards, and Patrick broke the Chiefs' passing record, of course, on a throw to Travis.
Yep. I loved that.
You cannot write history better than the two of them do.
No. They will go down in the history books as one of the best duos to ever play together.
Yeah. Another favorite moment for me was when Justin Tucker missed a field goal kick.
Listen, I was smiling ear to ear. When he came out, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot he was their kicker.
Oh, yeah.
He went to kick and it just missed it. I was like, that couldn't have happened to a better person.
It almost felt like it was in slow-mo for me as it was going just beside the field goal post. And I was like, yes. As it went. How did you feel about the new kickoff?
I still don't fully understand all the rules, but I don't love it. It seems very wonky. And honestly, it kind of feels like nobody else really gets it either.
Well, so again,
can we not?
Again, the Chiefs got a touchback yesterday, and it was because the guy went into the end zone, but then jumped in the air and held the ball down on the 1. But because he had already gone into the end zone, then it became a touchback. And I was like,
yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. Listen,
between
they look like a bunch of balls, I couldn't keep up.
They look like a bunch of buffoons when they kick off and everybody just stands there first.
Right.
Like the first time it happened, I was like, Oh, we forgot to move. Oh, wait, no, we're not supposed to move. This is new.
God, the special teams meetings, they're going over this nonstop.
They're like, we know we sound stupid, but this is what you're supposed to do. Like, yeah. So the Ravens, though, were not very happy in their press conference.
No.
They felt very slighted.
Now, I will say there was a lot of flags thrown at the Ravens for illegal formation. Listen, I had to look up what that was because I was like, they look fine.
Yeah.
At one point, I was kind of like, can we stop throwing these? Like, it's not going to alter the game here. Can we throw flags on them?
Yeah.
I get that there was definitely a false start on the Chiefs, that it was missed, that the refs did not throw a flag. I understand your frustration. However, there was also an extremely late hit on Patrick when he was already out of bounds, and we didn't get flags on those either. So, like, yes, the refs called a lot of things that I was like, can we just let them play? But they also missed some of the bigger ones. So I understand their frustration. I understand your team lost.
Yeah.
But to get out there and say that you lost because of the refs or you lost because of just a little bit on somebody's shoe. Mm-hmm. Listen, if we're coming down to the last play of the game, you lost the game in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, it's what I tell Judd all the time about any of his games. If you feel like in the end that you lost because of calls that the officials made, you didn't do enough in the game.
Right.
Because if you do enough in the game, there's no room for that to sway the outcome.
Right.
So Isaiah Likely, who had a fantastic game, I was real disappointed in because last year I had him on my team, and this year I have him on one of my teams, and I left him on the bench because of course I would. But we'll get to fantasy football in a minute. But that dude was on fire. 9 catches for 111 yards. Like,
yeah,
freaking amazing. Yes, it was his tippy toe that was on the white that cost the touchdown at the end of the game.
It is what it is.
I mean, he couldn't have been any closer as far as people being like, get your foot down. Like, he couldn't have been any closer. I mean, I hate that for him. But then to get up at the podium and to say, well, if that's as good as they're going to look in the postseason, they're going to have a lot of trouble. First of all, my friend, has anyone ever told you how ignorant it is to give sound clips to opposing teams? If not, you have really screwed yourself here.
Yeah.
But also, like, in the words of Emmitt Smith, act like you've been here before. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I'm done with you for that. Like, that was just, to me, I'm like, you're an idiot because you literally can't deliver. Like, it cannot happen. And then I have to talk about Roquan Smith. Listen, I've never liked Roquan Smith. I think he's always been a dirty player. He had 2 late hits on Patrick yesterday out of bounds. He got a little upset that Peyton Hendershot allegedly shoved him. Have you seen the replay of this?
Yes.
Exactly. I don't believe that was exactly what happened, but okay. And so he, of course, is like, oh, I'll be seeing him. Go ahead, Roquan. You're a dirty, trashy player. You're like Ndamukong Suh. Like, y'all don't belong in the NFL.
What are you going to do? Meet him in the parking lot? Come on. Yeah. It's football. It's an aggressive game.
You're the one hitting the quarterback out of bounds. Like, the fact that a guy shoved you, they ought to have knocked your lights out. Like, I'm telling you, if Travis had been over there, there'd have been a brawl. There would have been
100%. 100%. Here's the thing. At the end of the game, if the Chiefs had lost, we would have been saying the refs didn't make the right calls, all these things. But that's for the fans to say. You don't ever hear the Chiefs players get up there and say, this is on the refs, this is on the other team. They always praise the other team for, listen, they had a great night. They looked good. Mm-hmm. So when you've got Baltimore coming out and you've got Lamar being like, I still think it's a touchdown. Come on, guys. It's game 1.
I was going to say, I wasn't shocked by Roquan because, again, I think he is a trash player. He's always been that way. Isaiah Likely, like, you had a bust-out season last year because Mark Andrews was hurt all year. You looked great yesterday, but you made yourself look stupid in the end. But I was the most disappointed in Lamar. Mm-hmm. Like, he normally is not that guy in a press conference.
Yeah.
And, I was like, no, that's why we have replays and everything. Like, that wasn't a touchdown. Like, even Harbaugh was like, it wasn't a touchdown.
No, you could see it. It was so insanely close. I understand there's frustration there. But listen, the 2 plays before that one, you missed some wide open receivers.
Saying Zay Flowers was like, Could have built a house around him, and you missed
Where are you going?
Yeah.
No.
And I still, in that moment, don't understand the play calling. I don't understand why they didn't have Lamar run or why they didn't have Derrick Henry in there. Why were you relying on this arm, which is not reliable?
No. You were so close. Derrick could have gotten that into the end zone for you.
Yeah.
Easily. No, it seemed obvious towards the end.
I thought it was I was glad we came out with no injuries. I got really scared when Trent McDuffie acted like he was a little shook up. I was like,
right. I was like, hop up.
We've got Jamar Chase next week. Get up, sir. We don't. Nope. Yeah, it scared me to death, but it seems like we came out unscathed. I think Andy said there were no official injuries. I'm sure they're all sore as hell today, but
I'm sure.
All in all, I was super pumped. I thought you could tell there were easy things that they still needed to fix, but I think Patrick is going to have an insane season because he has so many weapons now. I think the untold thing, and I was trying to teach Judd this last night because he's playing a little tight end these days. While Trav had some big catches and he had 34 yards, Judd was like, oh, he didn't score a touchdown. I'm like, did you see all the blocking he was doing?
Seriously.
He was a machine last night.
The first thing I noticed last year when he played, and I think he's even commented on this, he looked old last year.
Not now.
This has to be. But this year, I don't know what happened over the summer, but he has been invigorated and he looks like a different player.
Well, I think we know what might be happening during the summer. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, it's a family show, but yeah. No, but I even told you at training camp, and I told a lot of people this, he seemed very in slow motion. He seemed like he was heavy. But no, last night he was everywhere the ball was. He wasn't gassed. It didn't feel like he came out very often last night at all. And I think it probably.
Well, I think that's because he wasn't targeted a ton.
Right, he was doing more blocking, which holy crap, he was doing incredible. But I even noticed. So of course we got our favorite footage when they leave the game together. Yes. I even noticed, and I didn't love the outfit he had on, but I noticed that his we call them wife beaters where I'm from. His top, whatever. His waist and everything, his stomach, he looked thin.
He did look thinner.
Yeah. So, hey, props to him because there were some times during the off season where I was like, we are looking. I'm telling you, at training camp, he looked thicker than that.
Well, and we even said when he signed his extension, we were like, you think he's really going to play more? But he looked like a different player.
He really did. Now, obviously, first game of the season, a lot of emotion, adrenaline. I bet he spent the whole day in recovery or in other ways. But all in all, I was super pumped. I was worried about not having L'Jarius Sneed. I think it's still a gap, right?
He was still missed.
Dude's an amazing player, but people are definitely stepping up. Chris Jones looks real good. Now, I was real worried because at the very end, the next to last play, he wasn't in, and I was like,
they were so gassed.
Yeah, that
I was like, get a breath, Bubba, and run back.
Whatever Trav's doing, Chris needs a little bit of. But I'm telling you, any other quarterback, I'm thinking that Chris is going to have quite a few sacks this season because anybody else, he was gunning for him. But I loved it. It was so great.
I did too.
Freaking tastic. Did you get to see the pregame stuff when they did the national anthem and the Lift Every Voice song?
Yes, that's right when I turned it on. Tasha
Cobb Leonard has the voice.
Is she the one that did Lift Every Voice?
Yeah, and I don't like that song. I'm not going to get into it, but I don't like it. But her voice is freaking incredible to me.
Yes.
I mean,
when she started, I was like, oh, I didn't recognize her, but some of those people in the different. I'm like, okay. Now, whoever did the national anthem,
Coco.
Okay, she was doing okay.
Did you notice that her earpiece wasn't working at all?
Yes, I kept noticing that she was having.
I was freaking out for her. Freaking out.
Well, she couldn't hear it at the beginning, and there was music, and so she couldn't figure out when to start, and then it was. So she covered really well.
Yeah.
But then we got to the very end.
And
we tried to do a little too much vocally that I don't think she was ready for. And then you've got like the bee whatever flying overhead. So then she just kept escalating it. And I was like, oh.
So, okay. So it's super crazy, right? We did not get to go to the game. I know it was a maybe. I don't want to talk about it still. But I didn't get to go to the game. I was sitting in the middle of the field about 10 minutes from the stadium watching Judd practice for his tournament this weekend.
Gosh, so Judd, like, what are we doing?
Freaking kids. I don't know why we had him. So, I've got YouTube TV up. They're practicing. Parents are around. We're all just watching. All of a sudden, we kind of hear this like little bit of a roar. We're like, what's that noise? What is going on? And you're not going to be able to see it very well, but do you see this?
Yes.
That's the B-12 or the stealth bomb or whatever.
Practicing.
So it flew over us and was going for the stadium, but there was a rain delay because there was a tornado warning. We were also still outside in the middle of the field. Please keep all that in mind. But because of the tornado warning, all the fans had to go in the corridors. Not us.
Okay. So one of my friends texted me and she's like, I'm at dance with my kid. Why is the game delayed? And I had guessed I got to starting the game late because I was doing bedtime with the kids. And I was like, it's not delayed. They're doing the national anthem right now. She was like,
because it was, you couldn't see. I was sitting in a field.
Oh gosh.
So this bomber had to pretty much just circle our field. Aaron Goofball was waving at it. I was like, the tip of wing. I got to tell you, it was insane because, since they were doing the flyover, they were low. Like,
yeah.
Are you going to hit the tree? Right. Here's the crazy thing. It literally sounded like a lawnmower.
That's
like
crazy.
Wasn't any louder than that. It was insane. So we're watching the game and I was like, I said to one of the guys, I was like, what's crazy is right when we see the bomber go over the stadium on this screen we're watching on my phone, we're going to like be able to see it in the sky. And it was true. Like that picture I took was right when it was going over the TV too. So it was just like a cool experience, especially when you couldn't be at the game.
Right. Listen, Judd, I think we really need to kind of go back and workshop his schedule a little bit better.
Listen, I can't really talk about it. And Aaron and I are already on different pages about next weekend. Because we play the Bengals at home. And I'm on the page that we're going.
Yeah.
Which is the correct page.
Right. There's another page.
There's a different book. A whole other book.
No. Well, Aaron can go read that book.
Yeah, he can go with his comics, and I will be, at the game.
Call me.
But, it was fantastic. But we also there's some other football happening this weekend.
Is that not great?
I mean,
so much football.
It's just so much now. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I have a job. I have a kid. I don't have time for all of it.
I think at this point, we're going to have to quit our jobs and also just tell our kids you're on your own for a little bit.
Like until you're actually playing in these games, I'm probably not going to be there. So just how it's going.
Right.
But tonight,
I've done it raising you.
Tonight in Brazil, which I am a nervous wreck about because
I was nervous watching them practice this week in Brazil.
So, okay, I don't know this woman, but there is a woman who's like an Eagles super fan, and she's on Twitter, and she was like, all the fans were warned not to wear green in Brazil for the game because there's a lot of gang violence, and I guess that's one of the gang colors. I don't know how all that works.
Yeah.
But she essentially, and I quote, said F that, and was going in all green. So I'm not sure she's going to return.
Here's the crazy thing. So yes, green is supposed to be a gang color there. Yeah. The Eagles and the Packers colors are green. Now the Eagles uniforms are black and white today. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the Packers are going to do. I assume all white. But still, I feel like we could have picked a better team to go play out there.
We couldn't have gone like the Commanders and I don't know, like the Raiders, something. I don't know. But also, I haven't checked the weather. Is it hot there? Because, we lost a fan in the Eras Tour down there. Like, around the same time.
They showed a couple of clips of them at practice, and they're practicing outside. I didn't notice anybody, like, looking overly sweaty. Well, so maybe it's not as bad.
Wasn't it this time last year that the Brazil thing happened?
I thought so. It was summer last year.
All right, I'm looking it up right now. Now, this better not be in that. Oh, no, it's pleasant. High of 71.
Well, good for them.
I don't understand what happened last year. Now I'm not worried at all. Anyway, so the Packers are playing the Eagles tonight in Brazil. How are you thinking that's going to go?
Listen, I'm excited about it just because I'm really excited to see Jalen play this year. I think, and I've seen a couple of interviews that he has said things along the lines of like, Jason kind of took a leadership role last year. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if intentionally or unintentionally, Jalen kind of took a step back. And I'm wondering if that caused some issues, not on purpose. I think that Jalen was just kind of letting Jason take that leadership role and where he maybe needed to step in. So I'm anxious to see how that goes. I do think that they're going to bounce back from how they ended the season last year. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants that. Yeah. And I think Love for the Packers has a lot to prove. They had a late run in the season last year. So can he sustain that and keep it going? We'll see. Yeah. I'm still going to give it to the Eagles. I think they're going to take the win tonight.
Yeah, I'm going Eagles. I mean, as we've said, they cannot possibly have any more talent on their roster than they have acquired. So if they cannot win these games with that roster, I think they need to call it a day.
Yeah.
I think best case scenario, Nick Sirianni has exited the picture as far as actually doing any coaching.
Yeah.
And just let his coordinators do that. This will be our first time to see Kellen Mond as the offensive coordinator.
Yes.
So that'll be interesting. So it's a whole new vibe. It's just going to be weird not to see Jason out there, though.
It is going to be strange.
Like, I just feel weird. I kind of wondered if they were going. And, of course, I wondered if he was going to be in Kansas City last night, but I saw that he was still in Philadelphia. I wondered if they might go to the game, but unless they flew overnight, it didn't look like they were going. But, yeah, I'm going Eagles. I think Jordan Love is super talented. But he's almost in the boat that I feel like Patrick was in last year. Like, who are you going to throw it to?
Right.
Like, just
the quarterback is only as good as the players around him.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see. I do wonder with the Eagles, we have said and joked like they went out and got pretty much everybody in free agency. I don't know how they afforded all this, but sometimes when you do that, you have too many people that need the ball. And so then it's like people get disgruntled and the team vibe is off or, so I don't know. It'd just be interesting to see how they use him. I'm interested to see Saquon.
Yes.
He's finally not with the Giants. He finally has a good offensive line. Hopefully he's healthy. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. I think I'll play him quite a bit tonight too.
Yeah, I do too.
Good to see it.
So I picked a couple other games for us to talk about. Texans and the Colts. Not something I would have foreseen talking about, but, I'm big on the Texans right now.
Right. I think it'll be a good game.
But I've been noticing that a lot of the experts, I say with bunny ears, experts, are really predicting the Colts to go pretty far in the playoff picture.
Oh, interesting.
And I didn't even really know that was like a thought behind everything. Because we've got isn't his name Anthony Richardson, the quarterback? Yeah. Now, he was hurt all last year. What? Okay. Now, I do have their running back because, of course, he was all that was available in our draft. So I do need him to do well. But I'm going Texans big, but apparently I'm alone in that.
Okay. I also thought the Texans were going to come out big on this one. I just don't see the Colts coming up with anything massive. I don't think your quarterback's anything to write home about yet.
I mean, for sure, we don't even know. But yeah, like all the ESPN people are like, "Oh, this is the real test."
Now, I do think they're going to come out playing with a chip on their shoulders because they lost to the Texans, which knocked them out of being able to go play. Was it the playoffs? I think.
Yeah, the wild card. I think maybe.
Yeah. So, but I don't know that that's going to be enough to get them where people are saying they are. Maybe we will be surprised at this, but I don't think so.
I just want to also point out, though, that these are the same people that are projecting the Jets to potentially go to the Super Bowl. So I don't really know. I don't know that I can really count on that.
We'll take that with a grain of salt.
Speaking of the Jets, they're playing the 49ers. To me, this is like 100-0, but
God, as much as I am not a 49ers fan, I am hoping they blow the Jets out.
Listen, I don't want anybody to get hurt.
No.
But if this game could be like, I'm going to go like, can we do like 35-7?
Yes.
Oh, something huge. Like I would
prefer 35-6, meaning they got 2 field goals because
or 35-3 and no touchdowns. Yes. That would be a dream right there. But, everyone, again, bunny ears, the experts, they are putting the New York Giants? Nope. The Jets defense is like a top tier defense. I'm like, you've got Juice Gardner, but like,
they were saying that last year too, which I guess because you didn't have super embarrassing losses, maybe you were equating that to your defense being able to stop some of the offenses that they came against. But I don't know that we're writing home about any of it right now.
No, I didn't look. Is that game in San Francisco or New York?
I didn't look.
I didn't look either. But I hope it's in New York and he doesn't even score a touchdown for the home fans. Sorry, Aaron, we really hate you. Okay. So I also did not see myself picking this game as one to watch, but the Titans and the Bears.
Right?
I'm ready to see Caleb in the real prime time. I want to see if it's legit.
Yes. And we always know that the Bears are known for setting their expectations way too high.
Very high.
Way too high. This year, we'll see how Caleb does. Maybe they do decent.
Well, typically I would say, well, you're playing the Titans. But as we mentioned earlier, they have L'Jarius Sneed right now. And so for a receiver,
Levis is their quarterback.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying for a receiver, that's a nightmare to be going against Sneed. So
true.
I don't know. Will, I don't know what we'll see out of him.
Mm-hmm. And you've lost Henry. So you don't have him.
Tony or Troy Pollard? Tony? Troy?
I think it's Troy.
Pollard? The guy that used to be with the Cowboys? Pretty sure I have him on my team. I don't know his name.
Tony.
Yeah. Anyway, so I guess, again, decisions that didn't make sense to me last season were heavily in the Titans camp. So
who do you think's going to win this one?
I'm going Bears because I just don't think Will can do anything.
That's what I put, and I don't love that that's my answer, but I think that's who's going to win.
I mean, to this one, I'm like, I don't really care what happens, but next up, I got the Cowboys and the Browns for us to talk about. Now, the Browns defense, Myles Garrett. You don't find better, but the Cowboys have all the talent in the freaking world.
All of it. And you've got CD this year still. You've got Ezekiel coming back. We'll see.
Did you see he's not even RB1?
Oh, no.
They made him RB2 behind some guy named Rico Dwaddle.
That just sounds faster than Ezekiel.
Like, for real? Is this a joke? Yeah, he's not even RB1.
I don't love my answer, but I think the Cowboys could win game 1 because the Browns, we've still got Deshaun Watson. Listen, for as long as that man has been in the NFL, how many games has he played?
Well, RIP too. His dad died. His dad died yesterday.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I didn't know his dad. I'll be honest, because his mom is always at all his stuff, so I didn't know. I knew he had one, but
well, that's tough.
Yeah.
I don't like Deshaun. I think you're a crap human being. So
yeah. Well, and Nick Chubb is coming off his second leg going the wrong direction. I don't even think he's clear to play. No, I don't even think so. So I don't even know who's playing.
They might not either.
Yeah, maybe a touch and go. I went Cowboys because it's the regular season, and they seem to do this. And then
they're good then.
It's pretty much after that things go downhill. Yeah. We'll see though. Then next up, Rams-Lions. So it is back in Detroit. Matt Stafford is coming back again. Of course, Kelly has said they're not coming to the game because
what a loss.
It's a real sure Detroit's heartbroken. I'm assuming you went Lions on this.
Yes, I did.
Handedly?
I don't know handedly. I think it could be touch and go in there. I just don't see Stafford pulling it out in the end.
So I'm going big because who's on the defense now that Aaron Donald's retired?
Oh, I forgot he retired.
Yeah, so I'm going big.
Oh, and he was like huge helper. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going big. I know Matt Stafford likes to go back in Detroit and have himself a game, but dude's getting real
old. Who's the McVay? Is that their coach?
Yeah.
Listen, he's been doing a lot of interviews talking about his hair. And is that our focus, my guy?
Well, that should tell you where the state of the team is if we're going to talk about our hair. Well, Cooper Kupp, I don't know what you say about Cooper Kupp, because every season I think, oh, it's Cooper Kupp, he's amazing, and every season he's hurt.
Yeah.
So you got that. Now they do have that new kid from Georgia who I'm pretty sure I have on one of my mini teams now, Lad McConkey.
Yes.
But he's a wee little man. I didn't realize.
And he's only one guy. You can't target him every time.
No. And that Detroit Lions defense,
stellar.
I'm telling you. Yeah, so I'm actually going real big on this one.
Okay.
All right, those are the games that I had. Any other games you wanted to bring up? Talk about?
I think those are the ones we're going to be watching and talking about.
We can't wait. Let's talk about a little college football. Because what a weekend we had.
All the football.
All right, so first we're going to start recapping the games that just happened over Labor Day weekend, because there were some doozies. And we need to kind of check in because, we call ourselves experts.
We do.
Again, with the bunny ears. I kind of thought about this the other day. I had a bit of a long road trip the other day, and I was listening to a marathon of the Boocast.
Okay.
And you know what I would like to liken us to?
Oh, what?
I would like to call us the NFL version of the Boocast.
Listen, I would love to be compared to no one else. They are it.
To me, I think that is, when we go to the live show in November, we need to let them know, because that would be the ultimate compliment.
I think so.
But I feel good about it. I mean,
yeah.
But not to encroach on their territory, we are going to talk a little college football. Georgia Clemson. We went with Georgia.
We did.
Now, I will say at first I was a bit concerned.
Yeah.
It was a little rough, but then it became real obvious that Dabo Swinney is going to be looking for a job.
Yes. Yeah.
Does not look good at Clemson.
I mean, they 100% were outcoached. Dabo's just really, there was a couple of years back where everybody was like, he's the next Saban. Mm-hmm. They had extended his contract in Clemson because they didn't want him to take Saban's job when he retired. And as soon as they did that, I feel like Dabo was like, okay, I'm going to take a seat now.
I mean, okay, yes, you're playing Georgia. So, we know one of the top teams.
Clemson.
That's what I was about to say. But, yeah, you're Clemson. What are we – it looks bad, real bad.
My guy, we got to dip into that transfer portal. I know he doesn't want to, and I know he doesn't like it. None of us do. But you got to dip into it.
Yeah, it's rough. So that one we were correct. Florida State and Boston College. Now, one note I need to point out first on this one, I don't know if I missed it. I don't know if I didn't care when it happened, or I just completely, forgot. Bill O'Brien is the coach at Boston College now?
Yeah.
Where was that?
I remember it making headlines one day.
Yeah.
And then it passed. Nobody really talked about it.
Well, I forgot until I saw the chin on the TV, and I was like, oh, yeah. Another loss for the Seminoles.
Listen, I think I picked that Florida would win that game.
Yeah.
I thought that was a given.
Yeah. Nope.
It was not. It was not a given. I mean, they fell apart. 2018.
Yeah. I would never have called it after last season, but Norval's, he's got a mess on his hands.
Well, your FSU quarterback, Uiagalelei,
glad you took that one. Okay, sure. DJ?
My guy completed 21 of 42 passes.
Yeah, I think we might need to look at elsewhere. Glad we probably paid millions.
I don't love when the fans start chanting for whoever your backup is, but I do feel it was warranted here.
Maybe we try out what they do. But they went out and spent $1 gazillion in the portal for him.
Yeah. Well, did you see in the press conference after the game where Norval said, he said, I failed at preparing my guys for the game.
Well,
what were you doing? That's literally what practice is. It's like,
isn't that his job?
Yeah. I was very confused by that statement. And I was like,
it's not.
That's not taking the same PR classes? Because this isn't it.
This is not a good resume builder for the board who's going to be looking at your job. So I'm just saying. You
can't hang your hat on last season.
But it's just the ACC is looking real confusing right now.
Yeah, it's wrong.
Now, let us talk about the LSU USC game.
Well, so called this wrong too.
Well, remember this one? I was like, I just don't know because I don't remember what I finally said in the end.
I feel like you went Oh, did you? I was thinking you went USC.
I don't like to be wrong, so maybe that's why I think I said.
Because I'm pretty sure you did, because I was like, "What are you doing?" Because I and went LSU.
Well, it's because I've got that place in my heart for USC.
Yes.
Now, this game could have gone either way. It was a fan-freaking-tastic game to watch. I think LSU. Now, listen, I understand Brian Kelly's real mad. He needs some help, I think, but I wouldn't be as off kilter as he is, because I think that Garrett Nussmeier kid, I think he's legit.
Yeah. And my God, it's the first game.
And it's not like you lost to like Illinois Technical School or something.
Yeah, you lost to a good team.
Yeah, it
was just a very aggressive post-game conference that I was like, if I was a player, I would be a little scared of you.
Yeah,
not in a physical sense, but like mentally, I'm afraid of what you're going to do.
Yeah, you're a little unhinged. Makes me wonder if he's been threatened. But again, like coming off last season, I don't see that. So I just think he may have some issues. But that was an incredible game offensively. I would say defensively, both teams, I was like,
yeah.
I think LSU is going to have some trouble in the SEC.
I do too.
Now, offensively, again, I think that dude's great. But their freaking running back, who missed last season with a torn ACL, was having a heck of a game, and then apparently he tore his ACL again.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Might need to find a different surgeon is all I can think.
Right. We got to do something better.
Somebody outside of Baton Rouge, maybe. But I do not think that USC is going to end up being a playoff team either, though. I didn't think Miller Moss he's not enough to get him there.
No.
So we'll see what happens with Lincoln Riley, because those USC boosters will not take kindly to a non-amazing season.
They will not.
And then the game of the season already. Notre Dame at Texas A&M. Now, I know that Laura really hates that I have said that Notre Dame is going to make the playoffs.
We all did.
But y'all, I mean, they went into Kyle Field, which was off the chain, and like mind-blowing.
It was not pretty.
No, for either side.
No. Notre Dame's defense played lights out. They forced turnovers. I mean, they were what won them that game. Texas A&M's, is it Wegman? Was he sick? What's happening? Because he was vomiting on the sidelines.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to even mention. Did you know that Pacheco was throwing up during the game?
I did see something about that today.
Yeah, I didn't see it happen. Not the way we had to see Wegman throwing up everywhere.
No, Wegman, they had a camera on his face while he was doing it.
Yeah, that poor kid. I mean, I don't know if he was – I saw where they said it was like a combination of nerves and maybe he had a weird hit or something. I don't know, but he was yakking it up.
Yeah, a couple times.
That doesn't bode well, is all I'm going to say.
Listen, I was riding the Coach Elko train because I thought fresh, like new life he's going to breathe into this team. I was beyond disappointed with how I saw him behaving on the sidelines towards his players, towards just everybody. And I thought, well, that isn't the mood. Like, what are we doing, my guy?
Well, I will say, so when I was in my Bootcast marathon as I was driving, they were talking all about SEC Media Days, and, they kept talking about Elko, and this was pre the game happening. And I just kept thinking, like, I just can't get hyped about Elko. And I'm like, I think it's because he was coming from Duke, and I just feel like, and I don't mean Duke basketball,
Yeah.
I just feel like there's a really big difference between coaching football at Duke and coaching in the SEC. And I'll be honest, I think it really showed in that game.
Agreed.
I think he got out-coached.
And why are we giving some of these coaches such long contracts when – because you're going to have – I mean, the amount of money you had to pay Jimbo out, you're eventually going to have to pay this guy out because Texas A&M alumni are not going to let you keep this guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought A&M looked fine. I thought their defense looked a lot better than their offense for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
But to let Notre Dame come in, and I mean, I like that little Riley Leonard kid who actually happens to be the former Duke quarterback. I like him. And I liked his game, but I'm just saying I'm not backing off my Notre Dame thoughts at this point.
And I don't love it.
It doesn't make me happy. I don't write the news. I just report it. Okay.
I know, but
we've got some games this weekend. I picked a couple. There were not like big games this weekend that like jumped off the page to me, but I kind of just looked at the top 25 games.
Yeah.
But one that I think is going to be big is Texas, Michigan.
Yes. Now, and college game day is there too.
And Michael Phelps is the game day picker.
And Will Ferrell is also a special guest.
So that'll be fun. It will be fun to see Saban at Michigan, being the former Michigan State man. Yeah. And it's always interesting to see Herb Street in Michigan with this Ohio State love. But what are you thinking?
I went Texas. And I don't love myself for saying that.
Listen, I've had to embrace the Notre Dame thing at this point. No, I'm going Texas too. The only like little hinge in my mind, two things. New starting quarterback for Michigan.
Well, they lost 13 of their starters to the draft.
I mean, JJ's gone, but the only little thing that makes me wonder is it's in Ann Arbor.
It is, but you got a lot of new players. You got a new head coach.
And Quinn Ewers, I don't love saying this. I feel like it's pretty legit.
I know. What's happening?
So I can deal with it now because he cut his hair. And I think Art showed that, like, if Quinn goes down, I think he's ready. I mean, he's a man.
He is. I think the concern with Michigan is they stick to the run game.
Yeah.
And that run game did not look good in their opener. Mm-hmm. But to do it against the Texas defense, I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, I went Texas too. I mean, we'll see. Yeah. We've been wrong once before, so.
And I will gladly be wrong on this one.
Yeah. Okay, Tennessee, North Carolina State. I know that sounds like a weird one to pick, but they are both top 25 teams. And there's a lot, and we have even said, like, Tennessee, this could be the year. So
agreed.
I'm going Tennessee.
I'm going Tennessee for this one.
But I feel like this is one of those games. This would not be as drastic as like when Texas A&M lost to Appalachian State. Wouldn't be that drastic. But I do feel like this is one of those games where like everybody's all in on Tennessee and then they're just going to lose to North Carolina State.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. So Nico, the quarterback for Tennessee, only played like the first half of their opener because they were doing so well and he didn't need to play the second half. So I'll be interested to see if that happens again.
Yeah.
Or if he's going to have to play the whole time. Who even knows? But I really think Tennessee will pull out this win. I don't think it'll be close.
The last one I picked was I wanted to talk about Arkansas, Oklahoma State. Now, listen, there's not really a lot to talk about with Arkansas typically, and I don't think the first game's a good picture of it because we played UAPB. But
it still gave momentum.
This could be a statement game.
It could be.
So I'm going to go Arkansas.
I went Arkansas for this one too.
Really?
I did. I think that their new quarterback, not too shabby. I think he's doing okay for them. Oklahoma's dynamic was his receiver, their running back was Ollie Gordon.
Oh, isn't he in jail or wasn't he?
I'm pretty sure he's out sick.
Oh, I thought he went.
There was a post and they stated the illness on there that it was just not a classy move, and I won't repeat it on this. But I don't think he's playing.
I'm going to need you to text me what that is because I hadn't heard of it. I thought he got arrested for like a DUI, or was that dreaming that?
Possibly.
It may have been Georgia. It feels like their whole team. I don't know.
Oh no.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going Arkansas. I mean, it's gonna be close because it's Arkansas, but my deciding factor was Bobby Petrino.
Are they playing in Arkansas or in Oklahoma? Do you know? I didn't even look.
It really seems like something I should know. Definitely. I don't. Let me look. I'm pretty sure it's in Stillwater.
Okay.
Still don't know. Yeah, Boone Pickett Stadium. Yep. Okay. So yeah, going to Arkansas.
There you go.
Go Hogs. Go Hogs, go. All right, let's quickly talk about some fantasy football. Did you have any players play last night?
I sure did.
I kind of set you up for that. Go ahead. Tell the audience how you did. Okay. Tell them how you did. Let me get it pulled.
Listen, I'm going to tell you what. Whenever the Chiefs have a bye week, I'm not going to be looking so good. Judd and I will be in the same boat.
Well, ironically, you're still picked to lose this week.
I am, but not as bad.
Well, and I still don't know that I buy that. But you got almost 16 points out of Pacheco.
I did.
17 from Rasheed, and then Butker got you 9.
Listen.
So you're already at 42, and we're only on Thursday Night Football.
And I wasn't projected to get that many points last night. So
I think you're going to come back. I'm calling a win for you this week.
I know. If Jordan Love has a great game, I'm going to be sitting pretty.
Listen, I had weird emotions with the game yesterday because I have Lamar Jackson, which is a weird thing for me in general. But he did give me 25 points. So, I mean.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I can't be too mad about that.
Do you have any KC players? Or did Judd take them all from you?
I'm pretty sure that between the two of you, there were none left. Well, I went and got Samaje Perine when we picked him up. And I do think he's going to come on. Now, he only got 2 points last night. But yeah. I did leave Isaiah Likely on the bench. That would have been 26 points.
Oh, my gosh.
There's that. I did promise an update about the Taylor Nation draft.
Yes.
Now, let me tell you, a couple things happened. I ended up with the 11th pick out of 13.
Man.
I just am really killing it this season on the
year for the pick.
Now, this is the league that I'm a commissioner in. This is I can do it with a broken heart. Now, somehow I got roped into playing in one of the other ones, the blank space league. Okay. They needed a player last second, and I was like, hey, I'll jump in.
Why not? I'm only doing 17 others.
Yeah, so I am not projected to win in either league this week. I want to tell you that in the one I'm the commissioner in, I got Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Okay, great. He only got me 10 points. But I have CJ Stroud. I got a pretty good team, I thought. I got Justin Jefferson, CJ Stroud, Derrick Henry, Brandon Ayuk. Okay. So I was feeling pretty good about it. And 2 is my backup.
I think you're pretty set.
Not projected to win. That team, that's my team, the Last Great Fantasy Dynasty.
Okay.
Now, on that blank space one that I got recruited to play in, I went ahead and sold it, but Daddy, I drafted him because it's just too good.
It's the best.
Now, I have Pacheco in that league. I got 14 points out of him. Went with my boy Justin Herbert, as I always do.
As you should.
My backup is Dak Prescott. So that's pretty much how the draft went.
Okay.
Pretty much, I got George Kittle, Puka Nacua, Najee. Yeah, not a lot to write about.
We'll see. Listen, maybe they'll have stellar years.
Yeah, so keep you posted how I do next week. I am projected to win in our league this week, 122 to 110.
Okay.
But I'm going against my friend Buffy, and she's got Joe Burrow.
Listen, that could go either way real fast.
Well, I mean, Godspeed to his body. I just hope he stays healthy.
Right. Get your offense.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. That's about all we got on the football front. Anything else on your mind?
I don't think so.
All right. Would you like to answer some questions for the audience?
Some questions.
All right. So, from Leah. She said, Taylor is known for having track 5 being her most emotional song on each album. What is your favorite track 5 in her discography? And I would just like to make a note for the audio to be helpful for you. I put in a link so you would have all the songs.
Listen, when I was like, what kind of link is this? And when I went to it and it was all the track doing the Lord's work. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Right when I picked the question out of the box, I was like, I'm just going to help her out. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be all over the place.
It's going to be a mess.
All right. What you got? What's your favorite?
So I picked 2.
Okay.
I don't like to be stuck on one.
Right.
So because they are emotional songs, that was really what I hindered on. It's what I felt was the most emotional, heart-wrenching song. So I went So Long London because I feel like she's saying goodbye to London. She's saying goodbye to a relationship. And she was also saying goodbye to her youth because that was so much of it. Mm-hmm. So I felt like that one was a good one. And then You're on Your Own, Kids off of Midnights. Mm-hmm. Just wanting someone, but then you end up in isolation and stuff. And I felt like that one's really relatable with heartbreak and everything. So I felt like those were the 2 most emotional ones.
Yeah, those are the 2 that I picked as well. Yeah. Again, I think the So Long London, no matter how we feel about Joe and all that, I think it's just a heartbreaking song in general, because I do think there's other meanings to it. And You're on Your Own, Kid, I think like, I love that it turns into like kind of a self-empowerment song, but there is an element of just real sadness to it too. Yes. I did have an honorable mention as usual for,
of course,
for Delicate.
Good one as well.
Rep. All Too Well is a track 5, but it's the original, and I don't love the original. So
yeah.
But that was a great question. I kind of had forgotten that that's like a thing with her, that she does that. So great reminder.
Yeah.
Okay. From Randall, who is your favorite Hollywood couple, not considering Taylor and Travis in this equation? Glad you brought math into it. Okay. Who did you pick?
So I have a couple of things listed, but I went George and Amal Clooney just because I'm fascinated by them.
Wow. I need to know what else you had in your notes, because I did not see that coming.
Listen, none of them go together. It doesn't make sense. But she's just brilliant in her own work. And then he's just this Hollywood icon. So I always thought they were interesting as a couple. More current day, I went Zendaya and Tom.
Yeah.
Just, they're cute. And they just seem so down to earth normal.
Yeah.
But then I went with some famous ones that I'm also intrigued by. That I don't know if they're Hollywood, but I equated Hollywood to just famous. And I went Jalen Hurts and his whatever she is, and then Tua and his wife, because we just don't ever get information on them. And I just want to know all the things. Okay. I had a lot of thoughts on this question.
Okay, I got to go backwards here, because first of all, I thought Jalen Hurts was single. Who the hell is he dating? Is it his agent?
No, it's somebody that he's dated since college. They went to college together. She has literally only been at one game that we have seen her where she came on the field with him. One game. It was some championship game.
Literally thought he was single. Then why was
2 years ago?
Then why is whoever nameless, why is she trying to holler at him?
Well, that's why everybody jumped down her throat.
I just thought it was because he was another football player.
Well, that's why she was doing it. But then everybody jumped down her throat because they were saying, he's got a girlfriend, leave him alone.
Ugh, makes me dislike her.
She's some like extremely intelligent person on her own standing, like in her career. They've been together for a long time. Yeah. Rumor was last year that they also had a baby. But then, yeah. Listen.
And then Tua and his wife. Okay. Well, okay. Anyone else?
No, that's all I got.
Gonna say, are we gonna go into hockey too? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay, so I didn't have any sports ones. I didn't even think to go there. Okay, so I had a couple as usual. My leading one, I don't know if you're gonna think this is weird. I went Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz.
Listen, I almost put them as an honorable mention.
Okay.
Not weird at all.
So okay, I've never been like a big Channing Tatum person. It used to be a running joke with Aaron and I when we first got together that he thought that I like had the hots for Channing Tatum. And I was like, no, it's just his body, which is gone. He doesn't even have that anymore.
That's not there.
But I mean, I don't find him to be this like really incredible actor. and he kind of comes across like he might be a little stupid, a little dumb. But I will say that has changed lately for me. I've seen him in some interviews, and I really think it's her influence, because I think he is like super, super smart and like obviously very artistic. And in a lot of the interviews I've seen them do lately together and separately, especially about this Blink Twice movie that they've made together, I'm in. And I just saw, did you see the picture where he posted it and she's like asleep in his lap? And he was pretty much just like, it's you and me forever. I was just like,
so sweet. I think you just need that partner that's going to push you and challenge you.
Yeah.
And I think they found that in each other.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he and, what was her name? Jenna Dewan or whatever. I mean, I thought they were pretty together and they danced well together, but
they were pretty. They're still working through their legal stuff.
They got that whole thing is not good. I went with the obvious, Ryan and Blake as well. I mean, clearly.
Yeah.
Felt like that was a given. But the other one I went was Zendaya and Tom Holland again. Now, I will say, though, I went with them because they seem just so, like, cute together.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't get this, like, passionate vibe with them.
No.
I get, like, best friend vibes.
It is more that. I think it's just because it doesn't give the Hollywood vibe as much. Because they just look like a normal couple that you would have over at the house, go to dinner with.
I think it's him.
Oh, for sure.
I saw a picture the other day. They were walking out of somewhere, and, you know, she always wears something weird. But he had on, like, again, a wife beater.
Yeah.
And his hair was real short. I don't know. It just wasn't a good look. But
we haven't dressed for maturity yet.
Yeah. I think that's the other thing. He seems like he might be like 14.
Yes. Yeah.
He's like, not old. Yeah. So, yeah, but that was a good question. Then I'm going to assume this is Sis. Okay. Well, from her. Can you recommend any obscure, no mainstream TV shows for me to binge? I've done all the things like Suits, Friends, Grey's, etc.
Listen, sis.
Listen, I hope you consider Hallmark obscure. Becca to answer.
Listen, mainstream is all I watch because I don't watch a ton. So I don't keep up with a lot of those. The only thing I could think of was Golden Girls. I'm a huge Golden Girls fan. That's not been in mainstream for a while. So maybe go back and watch that.
Oh my God.
And then every Hallmark movie. The new Chiefs Christmas Hallmark movie is coming out November 30th. Get prepped for that.
Okay.
But this one was a tough one for me because I started going through and I was like, Rebecca, you don't watch anything that's not mainstream. That's all I
didn't know what I thought you were going to say. I assumed it would be something Hallmarky. Well, part of the problem here with this question is you didn't give us a real vibe on like what you like. So I didn't know like how to recommend, but I have two for you.
Okay.
One of them, I don't know if this is controversial. If it is, my apologies. Did you ever watch The Ranch?
Yes, I did. Okay.
So it's got Ashton Kutcher, Danny Masterson, which I do realize is not a good thing, but they kill him off. Then Dax Shepard is on the last bit of it.
Yeah. Man, I forgot about that. It's been a minute.
Well, it's been coming up on my TikTok. So I feel like I've rewatched the whole series. I freaking love that show.
It was really good.
Really, really love it. It's got a lot of language. Don't watch it with your children. But it's a really fantastic show. So Ashton Kutcher's character is like, you know, they live in this ranching town in Colorado. He was the high school quarterback, tried to make it pro, you know, washed up, whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Gets
back with his high school girlfriend. She's a teacher in town. They obviously run a ranch. But it's a really good show. I love it. The other one I think I've mentioned on here before in Y Factor is Chesapeake Shores.
Yes.
Which again, I think is like totally up your alley. I'm pretty sure it's a Hallmark show.
It is. It's too many seasons for me to jump in now. It's like me trying to catch up with Grey's Anatomy.
And again, this is one of those ones I've only watched it on TikTok, so I don't really know. But it's a family, like, you know, grown children. It's a real, I like it. So like if you like that kind of vibe.
Yeah, those were good.
The other one that I had is my third one. I don't know if this is obscure, but I don't hear people talk about it the way I loved it was Brothers and Sisters.
Oh, I never watched that.
I loved that show. So I don't know if that's obscure, but it's got like Sally Fields, Rob Lowe, Calissa Flockhart.
Okay.
A bunch of other people. Again, a family, like they're a family. They're all grown up, but a lot of drama. I love that show, though.
Okay.
There you go.
Listen, there you go, sis.
You're welcome. All right. You ready to do some Y Factor?
Let's do some Y Factor.
Get my notes. Always have it on a separate sheet. Okay. What are you not liking?
So what I'm not liking, I did 2 things. Game day fits for game 1 for the Chiefs. Did I miss where home games we don't dress up? Was that a thing last year and I just didn't pay attention to it?
Oh, it was not a thing, but it was a thing last night.
The amount of sweatpants I saw, shorts,
T-shirts.
Travis having the open, looked like he had been dunked for pumpkin spice latte. Like, I don't.
Did you notice it was orange again, though?
I did. Whatever. I was disappointed. I love seeing their game day fits because some of them just go wild and spend bukus of money. So maybe we're being fiscally responsible. I don't know.
Yeah, I doubt that's it.
So I didn't love that. And then also I have struggled with this all year, Mandy, and you know it. It's Travis's hair not fixed. Listen, when he was out there pre-game.
No, now listen, last night was a different story. Last night it was not just not fixed. He has another new haircut and it is awful.
Awful.
I don't know what happened. It appears Taylor was not here this week. She flew in yesterday.
I'm guessing Patty Cutts wasn't here either because Patty.
No, he's not. I checked the Twitters too, but no, it's like a bowl cut from Napoleon Dynamite. Like,
yeah, he looks like Reno 911. And listen, we're in the season, Travis. You can grow out the stuff now. Okay?
Yeah, and he reshaved it, and so I don't know what we're doing, but not. Yeah.
Can't do that. Yeah. So what are you not loving?
Okay. So it's a little bit interesting what I'm not loving. There is a new documentary on Netflix. It came out, gosh, I want to say this week. It's called Untold. It's the Hope Solo versus the U.S. Soccer Federation documentary. So if you're not familiar with Hope Solo, she is exactly. Honestly, she's probably one of the best female goalies of all time in soccer, but she had a lot of issues, a lot of mental issues, a lot of legal issues.
Yep.
Caused just a lot of controversy, really tarnished an incredible career. So this documentary that came out is kind of her side of the story. And where things really fell apart, she got arrested for assaulting her nephew and sister. She got a DUI with her 2 children in the car.
Yeah.
But when things really fell apart and she retired from soccer, she was a part of a group of people that were suing the U.S. Soccer Federation for wages, that women should be paid equally to men. Yeah. At the time when they first launched it, it was her, Megan Rapinoe, Alex Morgan, and all of them. Well, as things deteriorated with Hope, and apparently like on the field, like Abby Wambach has talked about, like she respected her game, but just she was a lot to deal with. So I will say in this documentary, you get to see Hope's side of it more, I would say. But that's honestly what I didn't like because obviously, things broke down completely between her and all the other people that were involved in that lawsuit. And they ended up filing their own separate lawsuit, which is actually the one that won and got the money for the women's soccer program. No one talks to her anymore. And so they all declined to be interviewed for the documentary. You didn't get, I really thought Carly Lloyd, who I can't stand, might be a part of it because apparently she still kind of talks to Hope, but she didn't even agree to be in it. So it was interesting because you do get to hear Hope's side of it. And there are a lot of heartbreaking things that have happened in her life, but like everybody has stuff that happens. And so I kind of just walked away from it. Like, I just can't stand the victim mentality.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who've been through a lot of things and a lot worse than Hope went through and still aren't garbage people.
Yep.
And it was a lot of victimhood and a lot of blame game. And I'm just like, if you're going to truly own, like, I screwed up, which she kind of is trying to do in the documentary, you can't do both. You can't blame and own. Like, you can't be free. So, but I will say it's worth a watch, but I didn't like it. These one-sided documentaries, it's like the Scooter Braun one lately. Like,
right.
I feel like there should be a rule, like we cannot make a documentary if we can't get both sides of the story.
I mean, it is interesting to get one side of the story, that it's a perspective that maybe we wouldn't have gotten otherwise, but we really need to see both sides in order to come up with what our decisions will be on how we feel.
Well, and I won't say
this. People don't owe it to us to get on camera and tell us their personal business, but we appreciate when you do.
I mean, it would help. I'm just saying. All right. What are you liking this week?
So what I'm liking this week is, you know, those little gummies that look like Coca-Cola bottles?
Yeah.
That's my favorite. And they really got me through.
Wait. Are these the ones though that like you bite off the top and there's liquid in them?
No. It's like an actual gummy. Just the bottom of it is colored brown. I ate them all, or I would show you.
I was going to say, we got nothing to show. Okay. I'm okay with that. I don't entirely know what that is, but I thought you meant the ones that liquid come out of. And
I don't like those.
I can't do anything when liquid comes out of it. I can't.
It's too weird. Yeah. So that was one of the things. But then also my love and winner for the week is Twitter coming in clutch when they are the first to post game day pictures, game day fits after.
I told you that it is not what I picked, but I want to give a special shout out, and you've done this before on here too. The community notes from the Ravens game last night are some of the best I've ever seen. They literally commented on the Ravens actual Twitter because they like called it like we won touchdown or whatever, and then they were like, "No, it wasn't." Nope. It's amazing. Yeah, people want to hate on social media, and yes, there's a lot of downfalls to it, but I'm going to tell you, it really gives me a lot in life, and sometimes I need it. So
yeah. So what are you loving?
I've got two things as usual. The Pivot podcast. Now this is the podcast with Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor, and Channing Crowder, old football players. If you're not familiar, they had an episode that came out this week with Jason Kelsey.
Yes, it was good.
Some really, really good content. They even ended up bringing Bill Belichick in. Because Belichick had made the comments that like he had to like actually game plan for Jason, which I think and Jason even said that's like an enormous compliment.
Yes.
I'm just loving more Jason content now. He's on like all these commercials now that are so freaking hilarious. But this is a really, really good interview. And I don't normally watch the Pivot podcast, but it made me go like look through their TikTok, and there's a bunch of interviews I want to go watch. They're really good at interviewing.
Yes, they are.
But one of the ones that got me all up in the choked up, they asked him, they were talking about his relationship with Travis. And so they asked him, like, what's your proudest moment of Travis in this like legendary career he's had? And he, as Jason normally would, gets choked up. But he talks about draft day when Travis got drafted after everything he went through in college and how he rebuilt his life and his career and did things the right way. Oh, gets me. But also the clip where one of them asked him, what's your favorite Taylor song right now? And he talks about, I can do it with a broken heart. Yeah. And he talks about Ellie, their 3-year-old. And she said, I'm a real tough kid. I can handle my stuff.
Yeah.
The best. I just freaking love every bit of it. So I had that. And then this is a like/dislike. My girl is retiring. Alex Morgan is retiring from soccer. And I am heartbroken, even though I was pretty sure when she didn't make the Olympic team it was coming, but I figured it'd be the end of the season. But as it turns out, she's having a baby.
We just love that for her.
So I'm so happy for her. And Charlie's going to be a big sister, and she's the cutest. She looks exactly like Alex. But her retirement video that she put out, it's like 4 minutes. Like, I'm just scrolling through Twitter yesterday, and it's like, oh, Alex Morgan posted a video. Wonder what that is. Because it's just a random Thursday. I wasn't expecting it. Got your girl, not good. I was not in a good spot. But it is a fantastic, like, retirement announcement. Like,
she did a good job on it.
It was very real and not rehearsed. But also, and I've seen so many people have come out on Twitter, congratulating her on her career and stuff. But I just like, she did so much for soccer and for women's sports. And I know she will continue to do that. So, I mean, I like that so many people have come out from all different walks. And again, male athletes, LeBron, people like that showing up for females. I can't think it enough, but I dislike it because Sunday's the last time she'll be on the pitch.
I know. That'll be hard.
But I'm excited for her, I guess. Whatever. But that's it for me.
Yeah, those are good.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week with more football recaps. We'll see how our picks went, and we'll be previewing the next Chiefs game. So,
oh man.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, y'all.
Bye, guys.